Okay. Question from Dinda Dana. How to avoid burnout in online teaching and learning? Because sometimes this vastness of resources is overwhelming. How to avoid burnout? Yeah. So maybe
Terus.
you can pass this to Rose.
Yeah, Dinda was my student from a few years ago. I think she's a teacher now, and she's transitioning into online teacher, I suppose. Dinda, yeah. And how to avoid burnout? How do you avoid burnout when you are doing face to face? You know, burnout happens. We don't want burnout to happen, but sometimes it does. You have to. It's work life balance again. Again, this is new. I mean, people are saying that it's new, but you need to have a break. You need to be on a schedule. You need to get back onto your lives. Cook, go watch a movie, leave your work aside, have a break for yourself. That's how you avoid burnout. And also, you have got this wonderful community right now that we are building online. We are connected. It's just that we don't see each other physically, but we are definitely more connected. So you don't have to depend on yourself for your resources. You can always talk to your friends, go online, you can chat with us, you can share the burden of, of your workload, finding, trying to find things to do for your students. That can be shared. Do not be stingy with your resources. So you've got to talk to each other. Connect as humans. Don't connect as robots. Don't connect as machines. We are all humans. That's how you keep yourself sane and keep us human in the learning and teaching process. So avoiding burnout is the same as how you would do it before. You've got to talk to people, be connected with people, do what you love, take breaks, just have one day not doing anything, just sleep, or just watch movie, or do crazy things with your friends online. Like I said, you can sing with each other, share recipes. I think Devi just now was sharing recipes with the friends. So do things like that. Take your mind off work. Work is not your life. It doesn't define you. You define who you are. Okay.
Okay, right. Thank you, Dr. Rose. Yeah, and also we have Nurul Hasana. How about the students who cannot or do not know how to use the new apps? Okay, I think all the apps we go to Mr. Chua, Kiman, or Dr. Helmi.
Tell me dulu lah.
Tell me, look. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, that's a good question. I think the educators have to know how to use the apps first. So I think there's a lot of online tutorials. Now is the time again, as I said in the recipes, and then I think resonated by Dr. Rose and Mr. Kiman. So I think the educators themselves have to upskill. Now is the time. You have a lot of time for cooking. You have a lot of time for cooking, physical cooking. So you have to have physical, digital cooking also. So you have to cook ingredients. So I mean, for online teaching and learning. So I think before this, maybe Zoom. How do I use Zoom? What is Zoom? What is Zoom? I mean, what is Webinar Jam? So how to use that? So I think these are the skills that are important, and that is for asynchronous. I mean, so sorry, for synchronous teaching, and then maybe for asynchronous that I show you on the iPad. I think on your laptop, which softwares does fits you. I think if I show you everything, it doesn't make sense. So I think, and then I think one crucial feature or app that you have to use is screen recording. So screen recording helps a lot. I mean, this is how you do an app: screen record, press this, press this, press this, and then share with your students. I think students are very quick in this sense, but I think giving recordings is the most powerful tool that we have on online, because this is recorded session. You can just give your lectures. I mean, if students don't have internet connection, like yesterday, there were a couple of students who didn't come. I just gave the link, and then you can, revise there, and then you can have a look. And then if you don't have internet connection, you can have a look on that. I think those are the important features and apps. Back to you.
Mr. Kiman, any suggestion on that?
If you're talking from lecturer's point of view or academics point of view, I think we always have to ask the student first, the learning curve. So like my case, I will tell them like, okay, look, next week we're going to use Zoom. Are you okay with that? If they say most of them cannot, then I will choose alternative. I think we also have to have that kind of conversation with our students lah. We kadang-kadang we short sendiri kan, we think that's the best app, tapi students semua tak dapat masuk or they cannot go in. So if you're talking from lecturer's point of view, that's it. But if you're talking from a student point of view, if you know that the lecturer is using that kind of tool a lot, let's say a lot of lecturers are using Zoom, then it's high time for you to also learn about it, because that to me is an added thing in your resume also, right? So at least you know, you don't have to put in the resume Zoom lah. What I mean is, next time when you apply for job, you know, a lot of companies are now moving online, work from home kind of approach. Then you can tell them, I'm comfortable with Zoom. I've done a lot of classes on Zoom. That would be your added point. That's from student point of view lah, I think. So any app actually, like for example, if you're learning statistics, your lecturer suddenly bump you SPSS, right? You have no choice but to learn it, because that's the industrial norm, for example, right? So from student point of view, try your best to learn it. This is the best time because you're still young. Even if you're not young, this is the best time to learn things. Yeah, I mean, that's my take.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kiman. I like one of the points here. Lecturer need to learn more and adapt before apply to students. Yes, I agree with that. There are many training workshops to the academicians. It's up to the academician or lecturers to upgrade themselves before applying to the students. Okay, I will. I think, Dr. Rose, can you choose your? I think one of the question there related to the ethics and also.
By Kyria, how do we go about the students who obviously take advantage of this transition from face-to-face e-learning, from face-to-face to e-learning, where they become over-complacent with tasks and assignments? And then it relates to Shahidano's question, what will happen to the students who got low non-internet connection? How will they participate? You know, some of the students can take this as excuses. And I've also got some private questions from students who says that, you know, they are overwhelmed with the assignments that's given by lecturers. So now I've got the questions from both ends, from the lecturer's end and from the student's end. Like I said in the beginning of the presentation, this is all new to us. Nothing is wrong and nothing is perfect. What we need to find right now in this period of time is we need to strike a balance. What is the right amount of assignment to be given to students? And students need to realize as well, how much time do they need to put in to their studies? When I teach my students, I always begin the semester with calculating their student learning time. You know, what does 1 credit hour mean? 1 credit hour means students need to spend 40 hours a semester learning that particular subject. So katalah kalau you dapat kerja untuk 1 credit hour, you kena kerja 40 jam. So that is what 1 credit hour means. And most courses are 3 credit hours. So you will need to spend 120 hours learning that particular subject. Okay. In 1 semester, you might take 7 courses. So kalau katalah you ambil 6 courses, jadinya 3 credit hour kali 6, 18 credit hour. So berapa jam you kena belajar 1 semester? So I did all of this calculation with my students, how many 100 hours you need to put in to your studies. Dedicated time. Kiranya kalau you dibayar gaji, you kena bayar gaji ikut jam ni tau. Okay? Kalau you tak kerja 1 jam, you tak dapat bayaran. So, I do this calculation and then I do it for 14 weeks for my students. 14 weeks and then I kira 1 hari you ada berapa jam? 24 jam. I tolak diorang punya tidur, diorang punya makan, diorang punya semayang sunat, diorang punya nak pergi ke masjid, nak pergi semua-semua ni, I tolak 1 hari 8 jam. So you boleh tidur, makan apa semua 8 jam. Dah tolak. They find that, you know, in 1 14-week semester, you actually can have the whole Saturday and Sunday off, like doing your own thing. You can watch movie, you can go and play your games, you nak main Dota ke apa ke you nak buat. While keeping up with your work, with that credit hour, memang cukup masa. Okay? And then the assignments that the lecturers give pun is based on the student learning time. Therefore, it is not actually overburdening you. The amount is just right. So the question now is, how do we manage time? Now, of course, what I said applies to when you are on campus, when you have people around and stuff. But now when you are at home, macam mana you nak cope dengan dekat rumah pula? You rasa macam, ya Allah banyaknya kerja nak buat, because you feel that you are alone. Again, go back to the human connection. You can communicate with your lecturers. Your lecturers are there for you. You can communicate with your friends. Okay, simulate that experience. So of course, this is again an adjustment period. Both parties need to work out on a very good amount of work that needs to be done, a very good amount of face-to-face, asynchronous sessions. Seminggu sekali kelas ke, nak 2 minggu sekali ke, nak buat sejam ke, 2 jam ke. That has got to be worked out, and it would be great data for people like me, for people like Dr. Helmi, for people like Mr. Chua, to have all of this data. This works. Seminggu 2 jam. Synchronous class is optimum for this type of lesson. So these are all good data, we can publish all this lah. But of course, everybody has got to play their part in, putting into the recipes lah, and putting your ingredients into the recipes. See which one works best. Okay, so from both parties kena find that solution together. Okay, kita jangan, kalau lecturer tak nak dengar lah, kita rasa macam stres sangat, and then lecturer pula cakap, student ni complacent lah, tak nak buat kerja dan sebagainya. When we need to understand each other from each part. Maybe it's too much for the students, maybe students tak rasa macam benda tu penting sangat. Kita tak tahu. We don't know. We have to ask. We have got to have this open communication. Remember, keeping an open mind so that we can come to a solution.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thank you, Dr. Ros. I think I will let Dr. Helmi or Mr. Kiman just take one question each before we end our session.
Yeah, maybe I will add to what Dr. Ros is saying just now. As I showed you, using online, softwares, project management softwares such as Trello, MasterTask, I think gives students, a free space, because if everything, all your assignments are stuck in your head, dia jadi cognitive burden tau. Nanti you macam stress. Banyak je benda nak buat. Alamak, ada 10 assignment daripada 10 subjek I ambil ni. So I think nanti you will get very stressed because all of it is in your head. And then, alamak, bila nak hantar? Tomorrow I have 3 assignments, and then 2, and then 3 coming day. So I think you put it in paper or you put it in a software. I think it helps you manage your stress level, and then put schedules, because it's different, because you're at home, and before this you're going to class, let's say from 9 to 12. Okay, but now you're at home, you're cooking from 9 to 12, let's say. Okay, but you have to change. But where is the time that you spend to go to class? And then maybe 9 to 12 in the morning. Now you shift it 9 to 12 at night. So you have to have that allocation. The same allocation time, I think, is for learning. So you have to manage it well. So managing cognitive and then managing your activities, I think, is important in the new norm.
Okay, yeah, agree with Dr. Helmi. Okay, Mr. Kiman, any?
I'll answer this about this. Wait, let me check this question from Jasper. What will you do when you reach bottleneck? I think this one that the Rose has mentioned. I have to be frank, because when the news about the shift or the transition to the online learning happens after MCO, around early March and early April, I have to be frank with you, a lot of lecturers are actually doing a lot of try and error. That is the time where they try out so many things on the students, and students suddenly felt so overwhelmed because, my lecturer suruh, use this app, masuk app betul pula, satu phone tu penuh dengan app, because kejap nak guna Zoom, kejap nak guna Webex, lepas tu yang tu nak buat Kahoot pula, yang ni nak buat Wooclap pula, macam-macam. So to be honest with you, during that period memang a lot of try and error. I have to be frank that if I'm a student pun memang I will be very stressful because suddenly lecturers is expecting a lot of us. Dulu dalam in a face-to-face environment, you just have to turn yourself up in the class. That's it, duduk, diam-diam. Lecturer just show everything to you, right? Using PowerPoint or whatever, and then you can just participate using all these tools. But suddenly, because when you're not around, lecturers cannot really get that kind of connection with you, so they have to trial and error. So I think from your part, you also have to understand that lecturers are also struggling juga. Not every lecturer is comfortable with technology and all that. And they are also trying to figure out what is the best way for you actually. Macam saya lah, I have to reach out to student. I said, okay, can WhatsApp okay? If you cannot do this using Flipgrid, can you do it using WhatsApp, for example? So they, a lot of try and error. And if you're not comfortable with this, suddenly you feel like semua bottleneck kan, a lot of things coming in. Ni baru satu lecturer. Lepas tu ada seorang lecturer pula, I want to use ni, I nak guna webinar jam, I want to use, can you go into webinar jam? You tengah struggle dengan Zoom, tiba-tiba esok webinar jam pula dah. Lepas, I can understand that frustration because lecturers kadang-kadang they just focus on completing their task. I think I have to be honest with you, if I'm a student during this period, I will really get really frustrated. But I think now, what I noticed, the trend now, after entering about, few months dah dekat 2 bulan of PKP and MCO, I realized that slowly lecturers dah get the hang of it. They already know what is the best for you. You pun dah voice out a lot of you are talking about burnout and all that. They also know it's burning their time and all that. So a lot of lecturers are trying to do pre-recorded videos. They buat YouTube, they upload. That's why a lot of lecturers now pergi YouTube sebab they know that having YouTube allows you to rewatch over and over again. You don't have to participate in a synchronous kind of live class like this and all that lah. So I think if this thing goes on for like another half a year, I think by then you will be like, okay, I'm fine with this. Let's just move on. In fact, maybe after 6 months, you will see like, should we do this? Just forget about face to face because you're comfortable in the environment already, right? We have reached that zone where we just have to go online and do it because now we are still trying to test and then now slowly we are moving to the zone where we are okay with that. So I think from student point of view, you also don't feel like we are pressuring you. Just have to bear in mind that lecturers are also struggling. They're also doing a lot of try and error for you. You also have to say sometimes we try to do try and error, we don't get any input from you as a student, right? You senyap, the moment we start to use the app, you start to voice out, become very angry. Padahal when we asked you earlier, you senyap, right? You didn't say much about the tools, right? For example, kalau I tanya you nak guna Zoom, semua senyap. I assume semua okay. Tapi bila Zoom, seorang je keluar, 2 orang je keluar. Then you discover things. So you have to play your role as a student juga to have that conversation with the lecturers. I know some lecturers may not be positive, may not be open to it, but at least you try to voice out first. And then slowly you try to improve the situation. I think that's from my view, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Kiman. I'm very agree to that. Lecturer also struggling, students also struggling, but I think compared with the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, starting from the MCO, I think now a lot of improvement. Okay sikit lah awal-awal kan semua students, how many apps do you need to download? Every lecturers using different apps. Okay, so that's
actually one of my students kan siap nak pinjam duit nak beli handphone baru. Dia kata handphone dia tak penuh and all that. So I said, bila kita fikir betul juga, ni baru soal lecturer suruh install belum lagi lecturer lain nak install semua tu, right?
Dapat ke?
The issue. If they don't tell us, we don't know, right?
Yeah. So okay, I think we cannot answer all the